This podcast is an invitation to feel and experience the souls of famous old Hollywood homes and to have an in-depth journey to the areas where they're located through interviews with longtime residents. Either you're a fan of old Hollywood in Los Angeles, planning to have a vacation, or, an even bigger step, considering a certain area for your future home. This is your opportunity to receive valuable information and insightful advice you won't find anywhere else.
Hello, and welcome to my podcast. Are you in the mood for California? Today we'll explore and feel Freedom Farms in Creston, followed by an interview with amazing Marilyn Kroplick, who will share with us what Freedom Farms is all about.
It's a very, very special property. It's expansive. It's on 44 acres, and it's in a valley with mature trees and wildlife, abundant wildlife. And the main house was built in 1991. It's about 7,800 square feet. Yet even though it seems big, it's very cozy. And it's decorated with the golden era of Hollywood posters, original art, family heirlooms, photographs. It's like a flowing story of the life of Debbie Reynolds, Eddie Fisher, and Carrie Fisher.
Masha Korpacheva is a California-based realtor and a member of the National Association of Realtors in Los Angeles. She's an advocate for selling and buying homes with soul and practicing mindfulness in real estate. With master's degrees in spiritual psychology and linguistics, Masha brings all of her skills to work with her clients. An intuit and empath, she has touched many lives with her outstanding ability to see beyond the visible and helping to come to better understanding of issues and their resolutions. An adventurous world traveler, from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania to exploring the Galapagos Islands, Masha has a particular passion for the City of Angels. Having landed in this paradise and adopted it as her home, she's been sharing old Hollywood stories since 2007. In the mood for California, feel the soul of old Hollywood.
And now, are you ready to feel the soul of Freedom Farms? Creston, situated in the heart of San Luis Obispo County, offers a delightful escape just a short distance from downtown Paso Robles, San Luis Obispo, and the untamed Central Coast beaches. It is the perfect blend of seclusion and convenience, with easy access to downtown LA or San Francisco within 3 hours by car. Nestled in a tranquil valley, the history of the 44-acre Freedom Farms is as enchanting as the picturesque landscape itself. For 30 years, it was the cherished retreat of Debbie Reynolds, renowned for her iconic role in Singing in the Rain, her son, Todd Fisher, and daughter, beloved Carrie Fisher from Star Wars. With its rich past of hosting countless gatherings and sing-alongs, the ranch holds a special place in the hearts of Hollywood's elite. The 7,800 square foot main home exudes elegance, featuring exquisite custom tile and woodwork, lofty ceilings, and meticulous attention to every detail. A private screening room where the family enjoyed their vast collection of 5,000 classic Hollywood movies adds to the allure of this rustic haven. The living space inside the home is open and inviting, graced by a grand piano that once serenaded audiences at Debbie Reynolds' renowned Vegas showroom. Beyond the main house, 2 outbuildings offer an additional 17,000 square feet of space, including a sound studio, office space, and a recording studio. But it's not just the grandeur of the main home that makes the estate special. The grounds themselves tell a story of natural beauty and self-sustainability. Herds of native deer roam the property, while live oaks dot the hillsides. A barn, a spring-fed lake, geothermal heat, and solar energy capabilities make this property a true eco-friendly treasure, which now operates as the headquarters for In Defense of Animals and the heartwarming sanctuary, Freedom Farms. This compassionate haven is home to cows, equines, deer, ducks, and peacocks, all living harmoniously and basking in love, care, and dedicated veterinary attention. Embracing freedom, they roam, graze, play, and form precious bonds with their fellow residents. Freedom Farms are also envisioned as a hub for humane education, advocacy, and outreach, a place where workshops, retreats, and special events can take root, empowering individuals to ignite positive change in creating a more compassionate world. The doors are open to tours, events, and volunteer opportunities, inviting all who seek to make a difference for animals and humans alike. Together, with love, dedication, and a shared vision, it is possible to pave the way for a brighter future, one where all beings are valued, cherished, and protected. You are welcome to join In Defense of Animals on this extraordinary journey as they grow, learn, and stand united in their commitment to make the world a better place for all living beings. And here we are. Welcome to Freedom Farms. I'm so thrilled to have wonderful Dr. Marilyn Kroplick here with me. Marilyn Kroplick MD is president of In Defense of Animals, a board-certified psychiatrist and award-winning socio-political photographer. Since 2011, Dr. Kroplick has led In Defense of Animals powerful campaigns to end the dog meat trade, advocate for elephants, strengthen animal cruelty laws, and save animals in need around the world. Her groundbreaking program to mentor and support animal activists marries support for humans and animals alike. Her passion for animal rights was ignited in 2002 after purchasing a puppy from a pet store who became terribly sick. Dr. Kroplick's fight for justice led her to discover the system of abuse that brings puppies to pet stores and successfully expose and shut down the offending pet store. Dr. Kroplick is using her extensive expertise to build a supportive and inclusive social change movement to achieve animal liberation through sustainable activism. Please check out In Defense of Animals website, www.idausa.org. Dr. Kroplick will share with us what Freedom Farms is all about. Hello, Marilyn.
Hello there.
Oh my God, I was really looking forward to our conversation today about your organization In Defense of Animals and about this wonderful sanctuary that you're creating in Creston.
Thank you. It's a sanctuary for animals, people, and the environment.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, let me just say a couple of words about the city of Creston because many people may not be familiar with it. It is located about 15 miles southeast of the city of Paso Robles. And Creston is considered to be a perfect spot for lifestyle-oriented entrepreneurs. With its wide open valley, fabulous climate, mountains, rivers, and lakes. And people who live in Creston are supposed to be down to earth, very friendly, and the pace of life is relaxed and peaceful.
Very, very true.
So, Marilyn, you picked just the perfect spot to create the sanctuary, and it also has some very, very special Hollywood history to it because you are creating this sanctuary in the former Debbie Reynolds house, correct?
Right. It was Todd Fisher and Debbie Reynolds co-owned the property, and Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia from Star Wars, spent a lot of time there.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's just incredible. And maybe you could tell us a little bit more about this house, and in what way do you feel it is special? Why did you pick it as a spot for the sanctuary?
Well, it's a very, very special property. It's expansive. It's on 44 acres, and it's in a valley with mature trees and wildlife, abundant wildlife. And the main house was built in 1991. It's about 7,800 square feet. Yet even though it seems big, it's very cozy. And it's decorated with the golden era of Hollywood posters, original art, family heirlooms, photographs. It's like a flowing story of the life of Debbie Reynolds, Eddie Fisher, and Carrie Fisher.
Wow. So you actually acquired this property with all the historic paraphernalia that is in the house.
Yes, with the memorabilia. And the reason why is that I noticed that the Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher and Todd Fisher, we had some values that were really aligned because they loved animals, and they also, just were very involved in mental health. And I wanted to create a sanctuary, a healing sanctuary for animals, people, and the environment there.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to kind of join forces in a way and keep a lot of the memorabilia within the house.
Yes, well, that's beautiful. So how did you even come across this house? How did it come to you that the sanctuary should be right there?
Well, I believe in sort of just spiritual kind of experiences. And I was on my last day of identifying 3 properties for a 1031 exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent a little message out to the universe that I needed to find. It was the last day that I needed to identify these 3 properties. And then it popped up in my computer. And I quickly called and found out it hasn't been sold yet. And it just seemed unbelievably perfect. I was a little concerned about the 3-hour drive, but that turns out to be just a blessing. It's just beautiful going through the Santa Barbara, then into the pass of mountains, and then down into the wineries into Creston, California. I love it. I love the drive. And it was filled with animals. And I wanted to make a sanctuary. It has about 20 cows. It has a horse, a donkey, peacocks, herds of deer. And it has all the memorabilia. And Todd was excited about keeping the legacy alive of Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds through this mutual goal that we had.
Yes. So originally you were looking for a place for the sanctuary in Los Angeles or close to Los Angeles.
Well, yeah, I was thinking since I live in Malibu Canyon, it would be nice to be close, but I just have embraced Creston. Mm-hmm. I find it's a unique town. It's a bit of a cowboy winery town, a combination of the two. And, the main city has only about 4 buildings in it, a post office, a country store, a bar, and a restaurant.
Wow.
And so it's very much a different culture. And I love traveling and I love different cultures. So it was really meant to be. And I've been very happy, creating the sanctuary there.
Yes. And I also absolutely love the way you described the drive to Creston, that it takes 3 hours. And instead of seeing it as something daunting, you saw it in a way as cleansing, maybe, like you need to take this time to actually get to the sanctuary when you'll be completely stripped of the dust of the city.
Right. Although I live in a state park here in Cal.
Right.
But it's still living on a 44-acre ranch with animals is a completely different experience in such a large home. And it has also some other additional things, not only the main house, it has a barn and an art studio, and it has some warehouses, 17,000 square foot storage space for warehouses. It has a sound stage, a recording studio, and offices. So it has other buildings too. And every inch of every building is filled with artifacts and relics from the storied careers of Debbie Reynolds, Carrie Fisher, and Eddie Fisher. So it's a very unusual. It's a combination of blending, marrying the small, tiny town of Creston in this hidden valley and Hollywood.
Yes.
Exciting.
Yes, very exciting. So the house and the grounds and all the buildings, it all feels so expansive, just as you described. How would you do you experience the aura of Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher in the house? How would you describe it? What does it feel like to be there?
Amazing. Just simply amazing. You feel the aura. It has a life of its own, that property. Everyone that comes there feels that it's magical because it has a peace, and it was a very peaceful refuge for Hollywood royalty to actually, go and relax in a very private setting. So the minute you walk into the house, the minute you walk in, you see photographs, relics, posters from the golden age of Hollywood, and every piece, every artifact has a meaning there. And perched on a solid oak platform in the living room, you see a grand piano, and that was a piano that accompanied Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, and Dean Martin, and of course Debbie herself. And every holiday and every gathering, they would, sing along.
Yes,
and deep into the night. So it's got a very musical kind of flavor to it, and a fireplace that's wonderful. And there are peacocks around, so you see them spread their feathers for you.
Yes,
and it's just a glorious aura. And then there's screening rooms, a screening room where you can watch one of Debbie Reynolds' films. The other night, we watched a whole bunch of films, and it's magical. It is really magical. And we're going to be expanding that sanctuary for animals, people, and the environment, and carrying forward the legacy of the Reynolds Fisher family, and expanding using our imagination as an organization in defense of animals to envision a better world, a world of health-based key concepts of a sanctuary model, so that people can become healthier and more productive and trauma-informed.
Yes, we need that.
It's, we see health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not only an absence of disease. It's a state of optimum function of the mind, body, and spirit. And we are willing to change our strategies in order to make a more desired future. And what I saw, actually, and always dreamed about, was making a vegan center and teaching people about chronic illness and how our diet, our standard American diet, called SAD, contributes to a lot of chronic illness, and how our slaughtering of animals for food creates a lot of violence in our culture. And so I want to have an educational center, a weight loss center, a permaculture center, and have a lot of diversity, not only of races, but of different kinds of creatures, animals, and programs to eliminate violence in our society, such as bullying in the schools, and perhaps a program to help to train psychiatric dogs so that it would help veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, and teach people how to interact without aggression. So it's very exciting. It's very open-ended. We just bought it in December of 1920 of this last year of 2022. Yeah. So we're still, creating different kinds of projects and thoughts. How are we going to use the sanctuary? And really, it's based on several principles, because I base everything on principles. It starts with a dream of a world where we're feel physically and psychologically and socially and morally safe without destruction. We have an urgent need to change the way we do things in our world.
Yes.
And how to manage our emotions, and most importantly, how to treat each other.
Yes.
And also how to treat our ecological systems. So in a way, you see that we live in a traumatized world that needs to heal if we are to survive.
Yes.
It's one thing to have a vision, however, and it's another thing to bring that vision in line with reality. Freedom Farms, and that's the name of the ranch. We maintained the name. It was called Freedom Farms, and we took it over, and Todd Fisher said, you can have the name. Freedom Farms. We're striving to heal ourselves, our organizations, and in doing so, to heal a traumatized world, step by step, bit by bit.
Yes, I can see that.
And so it takes people coming together and creating an organization in which animals, people, and the environment are given opportunities to heal. And that means that we have to prevent a lot of violence from happening in our society and between each other. And we can do it, but it has to start within.
Right.
And there's no time to waste. We need to find a systemic method to prevent violence. And that can be violence of wars or violence just in how you talk to each other. So we made a commitment, Freedom Farms, to commit to growth and change. That's our first commitment. And our second commitment is a commitment to democracy. Our third commitment is a commitment to nonviolence. A fourth is to emotional intelligence. And the fifth is social learning. And sixth is open communication. And seventh is social responsibility, taking into account individual versus group needs. And so we want to build a little world there where those values are honored and promoted and fostered and grown, because it starts with an individual. You grow within yourself, and then you form your friends and you form an organization, and those values grow, and then you form a community, you form a nation, you form a world. And so we're trying to do that, not, just doing our part.
Yes, it's like a ripple effect.
Absolutely. And it's a ripple effect, and it's also a cause and effect kind of thing. It needs to happen in a certain order. If people are blinded by old ways of thinking and violence, and they don't even realize when they're eating, they're committing an act of violence, it's harder to move on to the next levels of evolution. And then, of course, there are side effects that we don't think about in our society, because we're committing violence to our environment. We're creating violence with our animals and with ourselves.
Right. And probably the way people feel violent inside of them, like something is not peaceful, and it is all reflected on the outside.
And they can't quite figure it out. They can't quite pinpoint it. And a lot of denial takes up a lot of energy.
Yes.
So that people don't even recognize what is the cause of this discomfort they have, or this less than joyous life. And so I've done that at IDA, In Defense of Animals. I created an organization that grew from it was quite chaotic when I got there, and it's become very peaceful. So when I bought this, then when IDA bought this ranch, I was thinking, oh no, here I start again. It's going to be another project of another 12 years.
Yes.
Because I'm starting with, with it had a good basis, it had a good foundation because of Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher, but any new project is a beginning, and you're hiring new people, you have to think about the culture and how to create it, and also how to combine these cultures, how to marry the culture of Hollywood, Carrie Fisher, Debbie Reynolds, and also there's some people that are employed there that have been on the farm before, and combining that with a new vision. And so it's a work in progress.
Yes, and there is a lot of work to be done. But what I must tell you, that the cause that you're pursuing is so admirable. And I absolutely love the name of the ranch, Freedom Ranch. And the way you have just been describing it, there is this beautiful quote by Viktor Frankl, and it says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. And it seems like you're uniting all of this within, and under the roof of Freedom Ranch, people starting to heal from within and transferring it in a ripple effect to other people and building, and animals and, neighbors, communities and cities. So it all starts with just one person, and you don't really have to look anywhere beyond. Just look within yourself and just do what's right for your own healing. And then the rest will take care of itself in a way.
Well, you won't go to the next step unless you do that first. Unless you see that you have a problem and that you recognize it and you're open to changing and looking for some solutions, and taking the risk of new actions.
Yes, very, very true. Very true. Well, Marilyn, let me ask you another question, and I'm very curious about it. So, talking about animals, what types of animals will be housed at the sanctuary, and what would you say are their specific needs?
Well, it's funny because I wasn't raised on a ranch. And so part of the deal that I made with Todd Fisher was, in order to buy the property, he would need to donate the cows to me. And he said, well, let me think about that, And then he came back the same day with, yes, he would donate the cows. And I never really experienced a cow too much. And so, it was a real leap of faith here. But I knew I wanted to keep them safe, and I've just been thrilled with the cows, even the way that they, just seeing them and seeing how they interact with each other. And we had a birth of a calf the other day, and that was very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So we have cows, a horse, and a donkey that are best buddies. Hang out together all the time. The donkey is called Eeyore, but I found out she's a woman, so I call her Eeyora. And the horse is Odie, and he was a racehorse that was going to be put down because he broke his leg and it was surgically repaired. So so Todd saved him, and he's just a glorious creature. And then there's tons of deers. I have my hands full right now because I didn't realize how much it costs to feed a cow.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God. And especially if you don't in the wintertime, when there's no grass and everything. Right now, it's okay. So I'm learning about rotating pastures so that you don't become overgrazed in one, and you can keep the food going. And learning all these things is very exciting. It's a very awesome experience for somebody who grew up in East Meadow, Long Island.
Yes, very different.
It's a definitely different experience. My brother said, "I can't believe that you're doing this." I said, "I am going to do it. We have sanctuaries anyway. In Defense of Animals has sanctuaries in several places. And I actually renovated one of the sanctuaries in Mississippi, and it's a premier sanctuary. So I was just more familiar with my taking chances and diving right into it and creating something than he was. He had less confidence. But we have, the place has about 8 bedrooms, the main house, and it has an exercise room, and it has, a big gathering dining room. And, it's just wonderful to go out and feed the horse and the donkey, and then go back into the room and have a glass of Paso Robles wine by the fireplace, and then come up with some new ideas of how I'm going to trauma inform this ranch.
Yes. Wow. Well, it sounds like a dream that has come true in a way, but then there is so much more behind this dream, and it's a journey.
Let me say that I am thinking of acquiring more animals. I'm very carefully. I'm actually taking a course right now on how to run a sanctuary, and I'm also thinking of some unusual animals that we might have there too. It's, as I said, it's not only a sanctuary for animals; it's also a sanctuary for humans.
Yes.
So it's a place. Matter of fact, it was a place of rest, of relaxation for Debbie Reynolds. And, and just to quote Todd, he said, "Here at the ranch, the mask can come off."
Mm-hmm.
It's a good place to reel in the sanity.
Yes.
That's a quote from Todd. And it's got a magic, as I said, I keep coming back to that word magical, but it really is a magical place. And I think that's because a lot of creative people with a lot of creative juices developed it and put their heart and soul in it. And there's a lot of Carrie Fisher there too, because she loved to shop. Mm-hmm. And so she bought a lot of antiques. And it really is great. I want it to be a place where we tolerate risk, mm-hmm. and value creativity, and we inspire hope. And we believe that the future can be different from the past.
Yes. Oh my God, this is so true. Thank you so much for this inspiring conversation and for sharing the spirit of the Freedom Ranch and for this incredible purpose that you have in your life, in defense of animals and people and the environment. And thank you for doing this for the world, for creating this sanctuary. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maria, for making this podcast and, letting me get the word out about Freedom Farms and In Defense of Animals. I appreciate it.
Of course. And I will post the links so that the listeners could find, your organization and could participate as well.
Okay, that'd be great.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Marilyn.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much for tuning in to Feel and Experience Freedom Farms with my special guest, Dr. Marilyn Kroplick. If you enjoyed my podcast In the Mood for California, please sign up for future episodes at your preferred platform, and please leave your feedback. I really appreciate your time and support. You can follow me on Instagram at In the Mood for California, and check out my website, www.inthemoodforcalifornia.com. Selling and buying homes with soul is not just my real estate strategy. It is an intuitive and holistic approach that embraces your values, aspirations, and conscious intentions. If you want to discover the power of mindfulness in your real estate journey with my compassionate guidance, I'm here for you. I'm a realtor with Beverly & Company Luxury Properties, and my license number is 019-78714. Next time, we'll be exploring the secret stairs. Cannot wait to experience Los Angeles on foot with you.
In the mood for California, feel the soul of Old Hollywood.